Hello again, it's Emily, and if you're watching this video, it means that you have finished the first half of Jasmine. I hope that you've really enjoyed it so far. This video is just going to follow up on some of the ideas introduced in the read and watch this before material, and then connect to some of the concepts that you'll see in the read this after document. So going back to the idea of ethnoscapes, Arjun Epidurai is very critical of the term outlined by Anthony Smith because he says it's too simple. There are too many changes in social groups, instances of mass immigration and expatriation that does not allow for a particular ethnoscape to exist. And I think that Jasmine's identity, both in India and throughout various states of the US, really reflect this complexity and extensive nature of the idea of an ethnoscape. I'm curious to know whether you guys think that she fits into either of those ethnoscapes, or if she proves that it's significantly more complex than ethnicity and area. The other term that I want to introduce is the concept of America as Eden. Eden being the Garden of Eden as described in the Bible. America as Eden was first seen when European settlers came to America and decided that the land no longer belonged to the indigenous peoples and that they had a sort of divine right to the land, to live in it, to farm in it, and to colonize it. And you can see that this concept of America as Eden is no longer real. The farmers are feeling it as they're not having good sowing seasons or reaping seasons. And Jasmine herself even makes note of this wasteland on page 107, where she says, "I waded through Eden's waste, plastic bottles, floating oranges, boards, sodden boxes, etc. They were tied shut but picked open by birds and pulled apart by crabs." So this idea of America as Eden is both failing, as seen by Jasmine and by the farmers, and is also trying to be reinforced and protected by the xenophobic and anti-immigrant speech and rhetoric being used at the time. And last, going back into the role of Hinduism throughout the book, there is a particular interpretation of one of the deities called Kali during the murder of Half-Face. In Hinduism, Kali is known as the deity of destruction and the force of death, particularly the death of an ego, and known as liberation from this cycle of reincarnation. And I'm curious to see whether you guys think that Jasmine embodied Kali, and whether it was her ego or Half-Face's ego that she killed in that moment. You'll see in the Read This After document that I've provided several suggestions for discussion board topics based on these concepts. And again, I hope that you have enjoyed reading Jasmine so far, and that you'll love Lena's follow-up for the remainder of the book. I'm looking forward to seeing you both in class and on the discussion boards. Thanks for watching.